John, did you feel like the group maybe unlocked a different level in that game Tuesday, or raised a new kind of point in terms of the level of play?
Well, I think there was a lot of things that we got connected in our game that we want to be consistent with, and obviously understanding your opponent, what their strengths are, and I think we got a good hockey team. We got good depth, obviously, a lot of talent and skill. So, but just the way we play without the puck and earning it back and earning our opportunities. Through the way we defended and checked, I think was real focal point for us early in the year when we got up to a little bit of a slow start and really kind of got our game going. It was a big part of our identity, and I think still is. So it's a long year, it's a grind. There's ebbs and flows to your game, but always understanding what's brought you success and what the identity is. I think that was a good example of it. Especially in the first two periods, just the level we can be at and that you want to play to. I mean, are you always going to get a 4-0 lead 10 minutes in? I don't know, but it's obviously the way we want to play and the level we want to be at.
A different challenge tonight, and setting the type of tone, John, and a team that's going to play heavier than what you saw in Buffalo. Yeah,
for sure. I think they don't give up very much. Obviously, they're in the playoff mix here and really fighting hard and been in a lot of close games. They have some youth, but some real good experience over there too. Guys that have been around and been through a lot. Just competing for the playoffs and the 82 game grind and just how valuable points are each and every night. So no doubt they're going to defend well. They're going to compete hard. It'll be definitely a different field, different challenge today.
I know your team, you're worried most about your own team. You're looking around at the deals other clubs are making. Does it give you a sense of excitement as everybody kind of bulks up towards the start of playoffs?
Well, you do see what's going on, obviously. There's still, when's the deadline here? March 3rd, so we're getting closer. So, you expect some things to happen throughout the league, and obviously gives a sense of kind of what's going on and maybe what clubs are how they're feeling about where they're at. Other than that, I think you try to take care of your own business, but obviously it's an exciting time, just as you're in the final third of the season here, and it's obviously playoff push and the way teams feel, heading towards that time of year.
I see the shirt you're wearing. I know the Carnegie family was going to talk to you guys yesterday. Can you talk a little bit about the lessons you learned or how important these reminders are?
Yeah, it was a great opportunity to hear from Bernice and just her dad's story and how she's carrying that legacy on and continuing to make a tremendous impact in our game, in our community, of inclusion in our sport and how we can continue to do better. And obviously just a wonderful human being, a great personality and demeanor. And it was great to hear her talk about her dad. I was obviously fortunate growing up in the city and playing in the GTA and playing at Herb Carnegie Arena. So, obviously knew about him, and obviously great to meet her and the family and hear their story and the continued work they're doing to help, like I said, make our game better and more inclusive and the education around that. And so it was great to have her speak.
What stands out most to you about Matt Dumba's game?
I think he just is one of those defensemen that obviously plays defense real well, but can be in that rover type of kind of category. His ability, to be up and down the rink, skates real well, real strong around the net front, and has some dynamic ability to him. So, just a threat on the ice. With the puck, and obviously defends real strong. So he just one of those guys that you always have to kind of keep your eye on as a forward, just because his ability to jump in the play, ability to get back and retrieve pucks, and obviously just really strong with the puck on his stick or battles around the net and in the corners. So, tough player to play against.
From a team perspective, is this the best defensive Maple Leafs team you've been a part of?
I think so. Whether it's personnel or just maybe the strength of the team and the identity of the team, I think has probably come together that way more so than any time that I've been here. We've definitely had some really good stretches and really good teams in that area. And obviously, we've had tremendous goaltending this year. So which we've had injuries at the position, and many guys have been called upon there. So I think it just shows the depth we have in net as well. So I would say just kind of the way it's kind of developed throughout the identity of the team and the way that's come together, and obviously maturity of the group and the core, and obviously other guys that are obviously a big part of the team and the way they play the game.
What do you appreciate about the way Mark Giordano blocks shots?
Did he set the record yet, or is he right there? He's 3 away. Okay. I knew he was getting there, but I think Gio's is just a guy that just plays the game hard, plays it, wears his heart on his sleeve, and just competes and does whatever he can to help the team have success. I think that's always kind of been him as a player, and maybe his journey in trying to make it to the NHL, and obviously have a great career, a Norris Trophy winner, and do what he's done. So about the offense ability, the way he thinks the game, and great shot. Just always puts the puck on the tape as a forward, which you always love. So, but he plays those hard minutes in those tough scenarios around the net, blocking shots, winning battles out of the corners, those types of things. So maybe not always talked about, but definitely a big part of his game and really impressive.
John, you go up against Kaprizov. What stands out to you? What makes him such a difficult matchup?
Yeah, he's extremely skilled. He's a very deceptive skater. It doesn't look like he's moving that quick, but he can skate really, really well. Great on his edges. Just a dual threat, can score and pass with that poise that he plays with, and their line has developed some really good chemistry, especially him and Zuccarello. Play the two-man game really well. So just dynamic that way, and his ability to, I think, just play with poise, use his edges, and be a dual threat scorer, passer.
Obviously heard rumors of it, but I just, at the time I didn't really want to, think too much about it. I was just trying to stay in St. Louis, try to get us back in the hunt there, and it was kind of out of my control at that point without like a no-move clause. So I think, it wasn't something I was really concerned about, but obviously there was rumors. That and a few other teams and such.
Right, so much has been spoke about, your line's offensive efficiency over the last few games, but what have you thought about sort of the defensive responsibility that you, John, mentioned shown in the last few games?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think we're seeing a lot of, we've seen top lines, and I think it's a good challenge for us. And, with these guys, with how hard they work, I think it's something that makes us effective in that. We know we're going to be hard to play against, and we have to. I think if we want to have success here, we have to be that line that's, not giving up much and frustrating top lines.
What do you thought of the team's line of flexibility?
Yeah, I know it's impressive. You have so many guys that, like you said, can play different positions and jump in and mix and match and do that. So it's definitely impressive to see, and I think too, again, you need that going forward if you want to, if you want to have success, you want to do things well in the playoffs. You've got to be able to move around like that and guys be comfortable in different scenarios.
Ryan, the Blues had a tough loss last night. You're focused here now, but what's your sense of that team this year? Like, where did things go wrong for you guys?
I don't want to say too much. Like you kind of mentioned, I want to dive in here and and focus and keep my mindset here. Obviously, it was disappointing. I think it was just we couldn't seem to find momentum, and it was just a challenge from the get-go. And I think a lot of that comes on myself being a leader there and supposed to drive the bus and didn't, and that's why I probably dismantled the way it did. But it's a lot of good pieces there. It just I don't have a specific answer I can give you, unfortunately.
What's the biggest thing Pregame did for your game over your time there, though?
A lot. Chief's amazing coach, and I love the way he has pulse on the game. He had, but just a lot of time just trusting yourself and being competitive and doing that, and I felt it was great at times. He was honest. He told you what you needed to hear, and he told it the right way. I think he was very respectful, but also you wanted to give him everything you got, just the way that's just the way he is and the person he is.
That first period, the start of the game in Buffalo, so dominant. How replicable is that moving forward here? Is that something that you guys can build on for tonight, or is that just one of those?
I'll probably have a hat trick for every game. But it's just obviously we want to create offense. That's a big thing. We want to be able to do that and gain momentum like that and put the puck in the net. But there's a lot of other things we have to focus on, and I think the offensive stuff will take care of itself if we're doing the other things well, and that's like we mentioned before, is being hard to play against, being tough on their top guys. We do that first, and I think the offense will come.
Gio's on the brink here of setting the NHL record for most block shots. What has stood out to you, and it's only 3 games, being his teammate?
Well, you see he's just such a heart and soul guy, and does so many things well up there. I've been playing against him too for many years, and he does everything. It's another thing he does. He's hard to play against. He's so good with the puck, makes good plays. He's the Swiss Army knife kind of guy that does it all, and to be able to see him get close, that's pretty amazing. It's a special thing for sure.
How fun is it to play with Mitch?
Sorry?
How fun is it to play with Mitch?
It's very fun. Yeah, it's the lines, incredible. And the plays that they make. I think I learned out very early. I think my first shift, he set me up in the slot there, and first game, I think I kind of knew I got to be ready at all times to shoot the puck. So it's one of the things that you pick up real fast. But both him and Johnny, just again, the work ethic they have, the vision they have, it's a lot of fun. It could be very effective.
What do you make of the way John has shifted over? He hasn't really played a lot of wing in the NHL, and seems pretty seamless.
Yeah, well, that's him. I think the IQ of him to be able to do that is incredible. It's not an easy task just to switch like that, and obviously he's done an amazing job at it. But I think that's just a credit to his hockey sense and his just ability to be able to make adjustments like that.
Faced the Wild Allied with St. Louis. What stands out about the way they play and this year with the way they brought?
Yeah, they're a very hard team to play against. They defend very well. They defend well as a unit. They keep to the outside. They're at all times they're playing hard, and that's the kind of mindset you have to kind of go into it, expecting a hard game. It's not going to be a track meet. This is going to be one from competing at both nets. It's fun. I think I've always enjoyed playing against them, and usually more sore than most games after because of the physicality and that intensity. But it is an exciting challenge for us.
How does Rielly compare to other top players as far as how tough he is to match up against, or you face all the other top guys in the league? Just how does he compare?
Oh, he's right up there with the best of them. As you see, you probably watched him a ton, as have I, and so dynamic. Again, you think you have him squeezed out, and he makes a little touch and he burns it. You just have to be, again, so sharp with them and be aware of where he is at all times, because he gets into those good scoring areas too, and just deadly that way.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
To your team game in that game in Buffalo, is that something that's kind of looking to carry over?
Yeah, well, definitely the first period for sure. I thought that's probably as close as a period we want to replicate for the remainder of the year. I think that's how you want to play. I thought we played with a lot of pace and good detail. So we're getting there. I think we've had some good examples all year of when we're successful. It's just all about us playing well defensively, taking away the middle of the ice, and then going the other way.
Well, how much will it be different with the opponent tonight? Obviously, Minnesota more of a grinding team. What's the challenge they present?
Yeah, I think tonight's, you look at their team, the way they forecheck, they put the puck in. They have some big, heavy guys over there who like to get to the net. So when they do put the puck in, we have to try and break out clean and then try and get some zone time. They don't give them much. Obviously, they're a good defensive team with good goaltending, so it's going to be tough to get inside, but that's got to be, what we're looking to do.
How much have you been talking to Chris Russell about hunting down his
record here? I haven't called Rusty yet or texted him, but I will soon. Just waiting to get a few more blocks, and then I got some ammo on him for sure.
So he's not following you around, he's not going to be in the building?
No, I don't think so. It's not one of those.
What are you going to do with the shin pad?
I've been using these ones for a long, long time. I can't see myself switching right at the end, so I'll keep using them for sure.
How long have you had them?
Oh, at least I'd say 10 plus years. So yeah, they're a little bit old school, but I like the feel of them, and I don't really like the feel of all the new ones coming out. So I'll keep these ones.
How different are the new ones?
I just feel like they're a little bit thinner than the older ones. Older ones have a little bit more thickness to them, and as long as you switch out the padding on the inside, you can keep them for a long time with the shell.
When you think about the concept of more than 2,000 block shots, can you remember specific ones? Do you remember ones that are like that one I heard? Or?
You remember the ones that hit you in the? I got a couple up high and that cut you up and stuff like that. But no, I just think it's one of those things you play a long time. You're going to get up there in those numbers, especially. I think I've played penalty kill pretty much my whole career, so you're in the. You better be blocking shots on the kill, or you won't be out there much because they'll be scoring. So I think it's just one of those ones where if you play long enough, you'll be up there.
Must have been one or two in a sensitive area along those.
There's been more than one or two, that's for sure. I think the pants and shin pads are the ones you like the most. They don't hurt at all, and then everything else sort of, up high are the ones you really worry about.
Most painful one, Mark? Most painful shot block of your career? One standout?
I got hit with a Matthew Schneider slap shot in the side of the head. I got a pretty good scar from it. That one hurt. It took me down for a bit, so that's one that really sticks out as not being one that was pleasant.
Do you ever have a coach tell you, like maybe going back to minor hockey, don't block shots because you might deflect it into your own net? Like how that's all changed?
Yeah, in certain spots. I think, if a guy's coming over the blue line and he's way out and he's wristing one, you want your goalie just to take care of those easy ones. You don't want to deflect those ones, but I think it's an instinct thing. I think high danger chances. If you're there and you're able to sort of rush the guy's shot, I think you want to try and do that. But yeah, it's a fine line. It's a really fine line. Trust me, I've tipped in my fair share over the years that you're not proud of. But most goalies will tell you like they'd rather you try for the block because 9 times out of 10 it doesn't tip in or go into the net.
When did you start using shot blockers, and were you resistant to that at all when they first came out? Or?
Yeah, I was. I think I had an injury that sort of put me over the top. I broke my ankle 1 year off of just a nothing wrist shot coming down the wing. So that was the one that sort of put me over the top. I didn't like the way they felt. There's all different kinds at the start, but they've actually made them really nice now, where they mold to your skate. And actually now I feel way more comfortable wearing them than not wearing them.
John was saying that maybe part of the block shot story for you is the way you came into it. Like you really had to fight for everything on your way. Is there anything to that?
Yeah, I think just I don't know. I've always tried to take a lot of pride in defending and not getting. Nobody likes getting scored on or having to pull a puck out of your net. And I think anytime you can help eliminate that, be it block shots or making the right play, you try to do that. So. I guess I don't know if it has anything to do with the way I came in, but I've always had that mentality for sure.
I think it was Morgan was saying that Austin was maybe arguing that perhaps he's right up there. Like you guys have some chats about shot blocking technique.
Tone's over. I think he's leading the league in forward blocks, so it's pretty impressive. He does block a lot of shots because he reads the play so well, I think, and he's in the right spot a lot. So yeah, we have some chirps. It's harder to get blocks as a forward, obviously, so it's pretty impressive too.
Morgan, what did you like the most about how the team played to start that game the other night? Is that kind of the new standard for you guys moving forward here?
Yeah, I think how we played at the start was great. Obviously, you don't expect that type of offensive explosion every time, but it's more the process and just trying to create those opportunities. Obviously, when it goes in like that, that's great. But for us, it's all process based.
You guys make a big move with Ryan and Noel, but the Bruins sort of match you on that. How much do you pay attention to what else is going on in terms of trades around your league?
Yeah, we're getting close now to the trade deadline, so there's always some action, there's always some moves being made, and teams within your division you're watching, and we keep an eye on it, but we don't worry about it too much. That's out of our control. As players, you just do what you can to prepare yourself to perform, and then what other teams do is up to them. But yeah, it's always interesting this time of year to see what happens.
Is there some curiosity? I know you're not focused on it, but see how Tampa might counter all this, given what you guys did and what Boston did last year?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's out there, what other teams are thinking, but it's always interesting, and come trade deadline day, you're glued to the TV. You want to see what's going on. You want to see what the other teams in your division are doing. So who knows? But again, for me and for us, we're just trying to prepare our best to play tonight and to win games and to put ourselves in a position come playoff time where we can play some good hockey.
You like the decor as it stands working, or would you understand if Kyle got someone else?
That's not up to me. I think as our decor goes, I think we have a lot of confidence in our group, and as individuals, myself, Broads, Gio, Halsey, all those guys. We want to be better. We want to continue to improve. We always want to be a big part of what our team's doing in terms of team defense and executing and helping in that area. And so I think we like our personnel a lot, and I think we're going to continue to push each other to be better and, to be a big part of that team defense, that we've talked about.
What stands out to you about Matt Dumba's game?
I've known Matt for a long time. Playing against him growing up and everything. He's a great skater. Good shot. He likes to be physical. Good defender. He's been playing good hockey, and he's always had that presence on the ice. You know where he's at just because of the way that he plays. Big, strong guy.
Jake Muzzin is kind of a unique player. Why do you think the defense corps has been able to kind of survive and thrive in his absence this season?
I don't think it really has anything to do with anything in particular with how he played. It's more just adjusting and handling more responsibility and having guys taking bigger roles. Muzz was a big part of our team, is a big part of our team. He played hard and he was a big part of what we were doing. He was a voice in the room. He was important to the PK, but in his absence, you have other guys that need to take on more responsibility and play more minutes in different roles. And oftentimes guys like Timmy can take that opportunity, really enjoy it, and thrive. And that's often what it takes for young guys to get an opportunity.
How would you describe his role now? He's still traveling.
Muzz?
Yeah. How much is he in meetings?
It'd be hard to define, but he's around. He's a presence and a voice, and he's a guy that's very important to our team, and has a lot of close friendships within our team. So I think just having him around, on road trips or at home at practice days like yesterday, he was here this morning. So I think just having him around can be important for us. And he's got good perspective, obviously playing for some pretty good teams earlier in his career. So whatever he can bring to the team, I know he's willing to and he wants to. So I'm looking forward to see what that entails as we keep going here.
Did you wrap your head around Gio coming up on the shot block record?
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. He was 8 back a couple days, but it's 3 now. I feel like he's had 8. In the time that we've been talking about it, but no, it's obviously very impressive, and he's a guy that plays hard. He really defends well. He's played a lot of minutes over his career on the penalty kill, and he's been very important to us in that regard. And so hopefully he gets it tonight. It's a tough thing to track. I don't know. You can't really stop the game and acknowledge it. But maybe we'll get him a golden shin pad or something. Yeah.
What do you think of Matthews leading the league and going forward in that category?
Yeah. The two of them have been talking about their shot blocking ability quite a bit. And he's a guy who he does a lot of things, and he gets a lot of credit for most of it, but I don't think he gets enough credit for how he plays defensively. And he's always in the right spot. He's not a guy who's sprawling all over the ice getting hit with shots. He's just in the right spot. And if you're consistently there, you're going to get hit with point shots. And he's got a huge commitment to our team defensively and our team to winning. And for guys skilled as him and as talented as him, to have that commitment and to be, that responsible defensively, that goes a long way. Thanks, guys.
Sheldon, what do you want the group to take away from how they started that game in Buffalo and how much of that is now the new standard and replicable moving forward?
Well, I don't know if it's a new standard. It's something we've talked about a lot. We've been good in a lot of ways. A lot of what you saw there, we've been good in that way a lot throughout the season. It just doesn't always result in goals the other way, right? The opposition has a say in that, and we so happen we were really good in executing at a high level, but the opposition made a couple of really big mistakes that we were able to capitalize on there. Sometimes your process is really great and everything looks the same, but then you still have to get through the opponent. So the process is something that has been in place for us for quite some time, and we've done really well in that area. Just the execution on the other side of it offensively was really high. But I don't think it says anything new in terms of the standard or anything different than we've ever talked about or what we've looked like when we were at our best. It was both sides of the puck all coming together, and that's why you have such the burst offensively. but the process and the detail that goes inside of it, that's what's required to win every game and to establish yourself in every game, and certainly tonight is going to be no different. You look at, the way Minnesota's, the way that they play and how they've played of late. Every game is extremely tight, very close, not unlike playoffs in that way, where it's one mistake one way or the other. Special teams, those kind of things. Those are the difference in games when you're playing against Minnesota. So we have to have that level of detail and mindset all through the game.
However, a positive development maybe for Matt Murray to be at least in a group setting here with the guys?
Yeah, for sure. I think we will see him continue to progress. I think you'll see him in practice tomorrow with us, and the expectation is that he'll join us on the road trip coming up.
Samsonov tonight?
Yes.
How's Sandy looking for tonight?
He's not going to go tonight. He's really close, though. I at this point would be surprised if he's not available for the Seattle game. But we just thought giving him another couple of days would be beneficial, in addition to another practice tomorrow. So he got some work in today, but a little more time to add some additional strength, I think will be beneficial to him.
Same day as the other night?
Yes.
Where have you seen your team evolve defensively from the entire group, not just the defensive?
Well, I think it's, the commitment from the forwards and their recognition that they are a significant part of our defending. That's probably been it. It's been very consistent through our team. I think if anything, the last month or so, we've slipped in some areas there. And we've given up more than we had, say, certainly before Christmas. So that's something we've been talking about a lot. But, at times we've done it really well. I mean, the other night's a good example. We were really, really strong in the first period in that area and then slipped through there. But you look at some of the losses that we've had, it's been similar in that sense. So we've been talking a lot about that as a team. I think our identity was really born out of how we played and competed when things were the worst here in terms of injuries and depleted lineups and times when you got to really find your game, and we pulled together, and it was a really good example of 5 players, no matter who those 5 players are, being connected, protecting the most dangerous areas on the ice and not giving anything for free to the opposition. And that's an area of focus for us here down the stretch.
How do you think Noel has changed the penalty kill?
Well, there's not been a great sample. First of all, there hasn't been a lot of penalties that we've taken here in the games that he's been with us. So I think it's probably a little bit early to answer a question like that. In terms of what I see with his potential to it, I just think obviously gives us another consistent guy is a little bit different. Some of our other guys have, real pace to their game and anticipate and jump and all those kind of things, where Achari's more positional, and when he has an opportunity to kill a play, the play dies and he gets it out very consistently. But I think just having another guy and a guy that's really focused on that, a right-handed face-off guy, if we determine we need that, I think we're still very comfortable with David Kampf taking them for the most part on the right side as a lefty. He's done a good job there, and statistically speaking, he's ahead of Achari, even though he's a lefty there. But that's something, having the right-handed stick with both he and Yarncroc, we think is something we could take advantage of if we need to. But whether it's penalty kill or 5-on-5, there's, he's a nice addition to our team.
In O'Reilly's short time here, what impact have you seen from him off the ice?
I think, again, probably a little early to really speak to that, but I just think because of his personality, his leadership, his pedigree, it's allowed him to really come in and fit in right away. And probably most importantly, it's just he's really confident in who he is himself. Very confident in his own skin. He just comes in, he does his thing. From what I observe, he treats everyone the same. He's himself. As I've been talking about here, he's got that nice balance of being pretty loose and easygoing, not getting too worked up about anything. Come in, first game as a Leaf, Hockey Night in Canada, Saturday night, looks like he's out there having fun, and he's pretty relaxed before the game and on the bench. Yet he's very serious about preparing himself for games, and he's very serious about winning. So I think you got that nice balance there, and I think that that's important to have. You know, guys who've been through it and have the confidence in those spots, I think is really good. So you know, early on here, he's certainly delivered on everything that we thought we were getting.
You comment on Kerfoot's versatility. He's played just about everywhere, and with these new guys coming in, new role for him again.
Yeah, for sure. And to me, he's playing his best hockey right now. He's a guy, when we made the trade, I spoke with directly because, you know, it came at a time where he was playing up in the top six, and I thought he had done a nice job there, and you could see his game really starting to come. I know the puck hasn't gone in the net nearly as much as he would like, but he's still making contributions to our team throughout, whether it's driving play or getting on the forecheck or defensive utility, penalty killing, all of these things. And he was in a good spot, and he was really starting to come. And then, you know, the trade impacts him. And I spoke with him and just made it clear that, you know, those guys are going to come in, they're going to slot into those spots, and it's going to force me to reshuffle things. And I really, as I talked about before we made the trade, I wanted to see Engvall, Kampf, and Yarncroc, so I didn't want to mess with that. So I just naturally put him down there. And I mean, that line, as I've been talking about here, is as good as our fourth has been. Achari certainly has brought a lot to that group, no doubt, and we're thrilled to have him in that spot. Keefe has also brought a lot there, too.
Provided you guys stay healthy, that fourth line has the opportunity to be that fourth line, doesn't it, like, going forward?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said,
Try so many people there, just your Sheldon, this can be a lot more solidified.
yeah, for sure. I mean, we talk about Kerfoot's versatility. I think, you know, I could see him as a guy that certainly does move around. In terms of Aston Reese and Achari, I think those are guys that you look to be solidified in those spots. And, you know, depends how things shake out, right? Obviously, if we're ever to move JT back into the middle there, then that's going to shift guys down, and now we've got 5 centers, right, with Achari there. So that in itself might move some things around, and then creates another hole. You know, if you move John back to the middle, you're down a top 6 winger, so Keefe comes back into play there. So you got all these kind of things happening there, but that's, you know, go back to the versatility piece. It's nice to have guys who've been in those spots. I think it's also shows why it's important to you know, to get looks at those different things. And the sample that we had before the trade with Kerfoot playing up there was a nice example for me of how he can provide utility in that role like he has the whole time he's been here.
Do you have a time frame in mind, like later in the year, where you kind of want to have things settled before the playoffs begin? Like, do you think about that once, like, the roster's kind of frozen and you know what your team is?
Yeah, of course. You know, as you get down the stretch and then the final couple weeks there, whatever it might be, you want to be pretty solidified in what you're going to look like. But you know, sometimes injuries and such impact some of those decisions. You're hoping you're healthy and you can put together your optimal lineups at that time. That said, I do think with our group here now, I think we do have options, and you know, whether it's opponents or matchups, home, away, I think there's different things that we can do with our group. So I think even though we may look to solidify some things, I think being flexible and fluid is probably the way to go. I think you look at, you know, a lot of the teams that we're competing with, it's sort of the way that they manage it as well, and it works for them, and it's worked for us in the past without as much depth as we have here now. So, you know, I'm not going to get too locked into anything really.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.